Becoming a new father, I was honestly pretty nervous that I could get out of shape. But even with less sleep, more stress, and way less time on my hands, I've managed to get in the best shape of my life. Here's the secret: the right setup at home with the right exercises that allow me to never miss a workout and get my session in quickly. And I'm gonna help you get these minimalist results by showing you the best setups for training at home and what to focus on. Now stick around to the end of the video because we're gonna give away something similar to this setup along with some other prizes for free. This can be one of the best things you do for your fitness journey. Let's get into it. We just moved into this house and my wife and I decided to change the formal dining room into a play and training room for us and the kids. I think it's very important for the kids to see that we can do this all together. There's no special adults only place. And kids seeing their parents work hard and take care of themselves is most likely going to have some long-lasting benefits on their development. Rings can be your gym at home. You can train just about everything, especially for the upper body. If you're lucky, you'll have a horizontal tree branch or a beam near your home where you can hang the rings and just leave them. But we're not always that lucky, and in this case, you may need to do a little extra work to have a nice home setup. There are ways to mount your rings to the ceiling. Just make sure that it's safe, done by you or a professional. There are plenty of tutorials online on how to do so, and this can work really nice in an apartment, garage, or basement. But if you do decide that you want to bust out the drill for your at-home setup, my favorite is the stall bars. Reason being is because we get pull-up bar and rings in one setup, so the versatility is higher. Kids usually love the stall bars because there's tons of places to hang on to and climb.
The thing that you want to look for in your stall bars is that this top piece comes away from the bar. That's going to give us appropriate space to be able to work on the rings. The only disadvantage here is that the more that this comes out, the sturdier your stall bars are, probably the more expensive it's gonna be.
I got these stall bars around 4 years ago. They were $900 at the time, and that's because they're super stable and they hang over quite a bit. Check out these stall bars on Amazon for only $180. But we're actually gonna give away these super legit stall bars from Soupless at the end of the video, along with some gymnastics rings and some dip bars, totaling around $1,000. If you don't want to drill in the wall or the ceiling, understandable. The doorway pull-up bar can work great. Granted, you're a bit of a smaller person. Don't get me wrong, I could still get a good training session in here, it just wouldn't be super comfy. And you can attach the rings to the pull-up bar as well for more versatility. Yes, you'll be a lot tighter on space and a bit more limited in the movements that you can do. That being said, there's really no excuse to not have this set up in your home. Total cost of pull-up bar plus rings, probably equal to 1 month gym membership. There's so many exercises you can do on rings. That's why we call them a full-on gym. To really develop your body with the basics, here's 7 that you could use in a training session. Rows develop your lats, upper back, and arms. Pull the rings close to the chest for full range of motion. Add some weight if needed. Push-ups develop the chest and front of the shoulder while allowing you to go full range of motion. I made a full video on these and we'll link it on the screen. And the king of pulling and developing the back is the pull-up and chin-up. The rings allow you to rotate the hands, which can be much friendlier on the shoulders. Jump on top of the rings and hit your dips. This activates the instability of the rings. In order to stabilize, you have to turn on your core and muscles surrounding the joints. Of course, dips are a legendary exercise for training the chest, front delts, and triceps. Go deep if you can, but don't push yourself beyond comfort. And we can also train the arms. Bicep curls are done by flexing the elbow and bringing the ring to the forehead. Bring the feet closer for more intensity. And we can turn around and train the triceps as well. The more horizontal your body, the more challenging on the triceps. This one's also very challenging on the core and will leave the abs feeling toasted. And to keep those shoulders healthy and happy, face pulls. Pull the elbows outward and the rings to your forehead. Keep the shoulders down and feel the rotator cuff work. Do 3 sets of each and tell me that you didn't work just as hard as being in the gym. Now, if we add in 1 kettlebell with your gymnastics ring setup, all of a sudden, we can get a lot more potent stimulus for the legs. And often you can find used kettlebells on something like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist at a discounted rate. There's tons of different exercises that you can do with kettlebells, but if you're combining this with gymnastics rings training, then all you really need is 1 kettlebell that you can use for squats and possibly kettlebell swings or Romanian deadlifts. You guys have seen me training here in past videos, and I wanted to replace this old jacuzzi with something to cool off in. Cowboy Pools are a super sleek looking stock tank pool, and they do it a little bit better. We went with the Honcho model, which has a thick poly liner on the inside, making it rust resistant and long lasting. We also added on a heater chiller, which literally turns it into a hot tub during those colder months. And after a hard training session, what could be better than lounging in a nicely cooled pool? Our kids love it, and they're able to get comfortable in water without the intimidation or prices of a full-on pool. I love it because it allows me to spend more time outside and away from screens, chilling out with my friends and family. Now, I know that winter is upon us, but now can be a really good time to prepare that backyard for a fun spring and summer. Cowboy Pools ship the Honcho pool package nationwide in the US. They make setup super simple and they have lovely customer service. If you use our link below or the code STRENGTHSIDE, you'll have a nice discount waiting for you. This could make your at-home training setup something special. I got this barbell and weights back in 2012. There was a guy getting rid of his old lifting equipment, and I got a barbell and 300 pounds for only around $200. At the time, I could barely pay my rent, so this was a huge purchase, but it's lasted me over a decade. I couldn't afford a squat rack, so I simply just did deadlifts at home in my tiny garage in San Francisco. A couple years later, I even worked up to a 500-pound deadlift. Nowadays, I'm not really into lifting heavy, but I still use the barbell weekly in my training. Most people think barbell, weights, squat rack, that's a couple grand investment. But if you were to just get a barbell with two 45-pound plates, you could simply do high rep front squats and get super jacked quads. Throw in some Romanian deadlifts. Now you're developing your hamstrings, glutes, back, and grip. As you grow older, you realize that it's important to be strong, but not at the cost of fatiguing yourself too much. With keeping the weight light, you can work on form and full range of motion, which will help you gain and maintain mobility. Plus, it's just super cost effective to get started, and you can always add in a cheap squat stand down the line. Speaking of that, this squat stand is only $120 on Amazon. Not only can you hold your barbell, now you get a pull-up bar as well. It's not super heavy duty, it's light, but it gets the job done on a budget. And a pull-up bar is probably one of the best investments that you can make. Whether it's for daily hanging and shoulder health, or the king of upper body movements, the pull-up. And we receive literally hundreds of comments asking what pull-up bar this is. It is the Contrin Toes Don't Touch Down pull-up bar. It's $300 and it's very easy to move around, which is one of the things I love about it. But really, the height is what's drawn me to it. As a taller dude, sometimes it can feel like doorway pull-up bar is making me do ab crunches to get my reps in. Pull-ups have probably changed my physique most out of anything I've done in the last few years. The lat muscles are huge, and building them literally changes the way that your torso looks. You get these wings going, which makes your shoulders and back wider, which makes your waist look smaller, and this gives you that sought-after V-taper look. A lot of people give the excuse pull-ups are hard, I just suck at pull-ups, but this just means you have so much more opportunity to gain from figuring them out. And trust me, you can figure them out if you do your research. So something to hang from, do pull-ups on, maybe a few hanging leg raises. This is one of the best investments you can make for your strength training at home. We have a couple other videos on the best pull-up bar setups for the home, and we will link those below. And that includes a tutorial on how you could actually build a setup like this in your backyard. Dips are often referred to as squats for the upper body. This $50 dip stand has been with me for about 5 years. It's excellent for dips, and I've even loaded it up with over 100 pounds, so it's definitely stable. And if you have a countertop or table to place your feet on, these allow you to do full range deep push-ups. Getting that full stretch of the chest is always going to be superior for gaining muscle and strength, but it's also going to have positive effects on shoulder health and mobility. And if you want to keep it simple and just do push-ups, grab yourself some parallettes. You can snag these as low as $20 to $30. Both options allow you to do things like L-sits and even more advanced calisthenic variations in the future. If you're sticking to the basics, weight vest is pretty helpful when doing calisthenics. This vest is called a plate-loaded vest, and it's from Kintsugi Fitness. Now, this is a bit more spendy in the $100 to $200 range, plus you need your own weights. But for me, it's been way more practical and comfortable than other weight vests I've used in the past. Plus, I think it just looks kind of cooler. But if you use a weight vest that you really like, drop it in the comments below. So you have some options, but once again, I want to reiterate, I love the gymnastics rings plus 1 to 2 kettlebells. You can get this setup for probably under $100, and it's barely going to take up any space in your home. But whatever setup works best for you, remember that it's not about the amount of exercises, it's about doing a few exercises really good. Prioritize one pushing exercise, one pulling, and a squat, you'll be in better shape than 90% of people. I guarantee you that. As a thank you for being in our audience, I'm gonna play a little Strength Side Santa here, and we're gonna give away around $1,000 in some of these minimalist training products. The big one is the stall bars. I personally don't have these stall bars, but Soupless is a very respected fitness brand, and honestly, these look better than mine, so I'm a little bit jealous. Now you gotta have the space in your home for these, and you gotta be willing to do the installation by either you or hiring a handyman. We're gonna give away 2 dip stands, just like the one that I'm using here in the video. We're gonna give away 4 pairs of gymnastics rings and 2 pairs of parallettes. A little bit different than the ones I'm using in the video, but I also have these ones and like them. So to enter to win, you gotta drop a comment below letting us know which product you want and why it would improve or maybe even change your life. Also, let us know where you're located in the world. If we pick you, we will reply from our YouTube channel, make sure it has the check mark, asking for some info. So be sure to check your notifications. Shout out Cowboy Pools for sponsoring this video. And if you want to train like me, combining calisthenics, stretching, and animal movements, then check out our program, Move Strong Now. Guys, I'm editing the video right now, and I realized we've used this pull-up stand in so many videos that we got to give this away too. So you can also enter to win the Toes Don't Touch pull-up stand.